Next on Conversations with Clay.
Man, I need another 40. I
Get you
need,
easy.
I need another 40.
All right, hey, do y'all feel like when you're dealing with an individual who just got out of a relationship, uh, or even they've been single for a while, do you feel like you're dealing with two different versions of them? Because of
Not really. It's the same person. It's just some people bring out different things in people, but it's always been there. The person who the person who looks at it and says, "Oh, they treat," or "Oh, they're a different person." It's not that the other person did something that you couldn't have done. You could have done it and brought it out of them. You just didn't. So I think people always have everything in them. It's just who can bring it out of them.
makes
So
sense. Queen 17.
I think I judge everything on a 90-day probation. Everybody show their representative the first 90 days.
Yeah.
Once you make it after that initial 3 months, you start usually to break through all the illusion or what it looked like and get to what it really is.
Okay. Paul, who didn't know it, what's your take?
I think we all have different variations of us, and it depends upon the situation and the circumstances as to who comes forth at that time and present themselves. You know what I mean? You're going to act accordingly in order to function smoothly in life. So I will say you're dealing with multiple people when you're dealing with certain situations.
Okay. Coco Kells.
I agree with that poet. I think that you get different personalities from people depending on how they're feeling, where they're at in their life, like all of that. You know what I mean? It could be, you could have somebody who's super cool 1 minute and then the next minute they change up, and it's not, I don't think sometimes it's anything against those people. It's just, you got to meet people where they are sometimes. And we all go through things. We all have our moods. We all have things that change how we feel throughout the day, throughout the year, whatever, So I think you take people as they are, or try to at least, because I know it's hard.
Okay. So I'm kind of taking a bit from what Cuzzo said, and I believe Uncle Cousin said, no, Queen 17. Ain't it kind of messed up, like a relationship in go separate ways, and then the ex doing all kind of stuff they didn't do in the relationship with you, and vice versa, you doing all kind of stuff. The faces right now is crazy. I can't even get it out.
Nah, bro. Nah. It ain't.
I'm asking because Cuzzo said, you know what I'm saying, it's the same person. It just took that person to bring it out of them. Do y'all think it was just in them, the person, they just, whoever they was with, they just didn't feel like that chemistry wasn't there? Queen 17.
No, I mean, like I said, I'll see the representative, but at the same time, you can be with somebody for 10 years and that they partner kind of molded them and shown them how to love. So when they get to the next person, they've learned so much that they lost a lot of bad qualities, or vice versa. It depends on the person and who. Everybody chooses when they want to change. It don't have nothing to do with the person that they getting with. To me, it depends on them within. You decide when you want to change and when you want to do better.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Coco Kills?
Yep, I agree 100%. Because you can have somebody who is just trash, and then all of a sudden they get in another relationship and they are just like night and day, at least that you could see, and you're like, well, why weren't they treating me like that? And it's like, sometimes people evolve in different ways, and also too, maybe that person didn't spark that in them to be that way, you know? So.
That's heavy. Cuzzo, do you feel
It's
like, well, it's just two-part. Do you feel like you've been the same in all the relationships you had, the serious relationships?
no, but it's also I say no to the fact that there was some maturity that happened, but then there's also the fact that depending on who I was with, they did bring out different parts of me. Like it's when you have that chemistry, it's a chemical combustion that's gonna happen. Eventually, it's gonna have a reaction, and so wherever that chemistry is gonna each person is gonna have a reaction to the chemistry, and that's just how they work. Like it's also dependent on the person that you're with, because when you become, for me, over time, I've become a lot more selective. Like I'm super selective now. And that is part of that chemical reaction now, because it's like some parts of me I don't want to come out unless it's for a certain person. And so you have to be super selective, because sometimes you get around a person that you really don't want to get that energy to, but the chemistry causes you to want to get that energy out. And then that's energy that you didn't want to give to them.
So
I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense. I'm curious. What would you be holding back? Let me shoot that to the ladies. You get with a new dude, Coco, what would you be holding back?
I think, you know, it's like what we've talked about before. Sometimes people have certain things that are very important to them. You know, me, I like feeling safe. I like feeling like you got it, you got me. I don't have to worry about anything, you know, and not talking financially specifically, but I'm just talking about being able to lean on that person and being able to trust them and know that, okay, I'm not really looking at all the stuff that you know, have done and, you know, to lie or whatever, you know, feeling that safety net with somebody allows me to let my guard down, allows me to give more energy and more, you know, put more into a relationship.
Makes sense. Okay. I'm trying to get to the root of it, but it's hard to get there because it's like all over the place.
But how can you get to the root of anything?
You
All
really-
you can get to is what your level of understanding. And once
Yeah.
you're there, you know, you find you something else to enlighten yourself with.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to get, because we had somebody inbox me about a relationship situation. I'm gonna read it in a minute and y'all can give me your take on it. But part of it was, well, this is a separate situation. Somebody else inboxed this. They were wanting to know, they had been with their wife. They've been with their wife for 8 years. And they ended up getting divorced. He said something crazy. They ended up getting divorced, and then after the divorce, the wife turned into like super freak. She having threesomes, she doing everything under the sun. So I'm trying to understand, is that just something that's just been in her and she just wasn't interested in him? Or it was because it's my husband.
You won't know, because I mean, unless you know the full all the information, because I mean, it could be that you know, that's part of the reason why they got a divorce. You know what I mean?
I'm just going off of what he told me. Bro said he was with all that.
Can I say something?
Go ahead. He is devastated at this point. Go ahead.
I think that I was talking about something recently where, like, after a divorce, I don't know if it happens for everybody, but I feel like sometimes it could be a rebirth of you finding the new you. the new, you know, being in a relationship you versus you not in a relationship anymore, not living a life that maybe you didn't feel comfortable with for a while, whatever the case may be. It's like, to me, for me, it was a rebirth. So I get it. I'm not no slut. I don't be going crazy. But what I'm saying is that I felt freer. I felt like inspired. I felt like, you know, just doing everything and being like super productive at work and growth with everything. Like it was like a rebirth. So I think maybe when you said what you said about what they said, I feel like maybe he's taking it as she's a slut, but she's probably just living her best life right now because she wasn't able to live it before.
He didn't even use the word slut. He is more devastated that he ain't in, like, he trying to figure out what's wrong with
Why
him.
he couldn't be a part of it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Why he couldn't be a part of it.
And I think
Yeah.
another thing, we put so much stigma, like we stigmatize marriage and what it's supposed to look like and what the woman's supposed to be, kind of like this Sierra stuff that just came out and how it should look, how people should perceive it. So it could put a lot of restrictions on your woman. And then in the bedroom, she feeling like she got to be wholesome and she got to be. And then when it don't work and she notices doing all that also led to the demise of it. She like, you know what? I'm about to live. I'm about to find out what the world is about. I don't have much time. Like, you evolve through the marriage also. And when it fails, you notice like, okay, I'm just going to do me and find out what I like. Because a lot of times in marriage, you know what your spouse like. You don't necessarily do all the things for you. You doing things what you think both of y'all will want. So once you get out of it, you like, I'm finna try stuff to see what makes me happy so I can find me again. It probably don't have nothing to do with him.
That's one of the keys to maintaining a successful marriage. You know what I mean? I am pro marriage. I'm pro life, all that other good stuff. You know what I mean? But that's one of the keys is being able to be you, no matter where you are. No, as we all go through life, we grow. And as you grow, that connection has to understand that what I liked yesterday ain't gonna like today. It's basically just like a man trying to figure out a woman. It's the same thing for a man, for that whole connection.